Hello there, Kyle Katarn here, and it is Wednesday, my dudes, so let's talk about some comics. First up, we've got Darth Vader number 18 by Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camuncoli, and holy crap, this might just be my favorite Star Wars one-shot story in all of 2018. It was so good. So the story is narrated from Tarkin's perspective, and he's on this off-world planet with 20 hunters trying to track down and destroy Darth Vader. He's doing this at the Dark Lord's own request. Maybe Vader just wants to prove to himself that he can still be beaten and that he's not in fact invincible. Or maybe deep down he just wants to die, like one of the Inquisitors suggested a couple issues earlier. Why would Tarkin put himself in this nightmare situation? Because Darth Vader's calling in a favor that Tarkin has owed ever since 2 issues ago in Darth Vader number 16, when he kidnapped King Lee Char in the Mon Cala operation. Darth Vader, being the badass that he is, has fashioned a cape from the hide of one of the dangerous predators on the planet, complete with claws and everything, which, by the way, is the Battlefront 2 skin I never knew I needed. Ben, Dennis, I know you guys watch my show. Give me that skin. Apparently the beast he used for the cape also has a chameleon-like camouflage ability, so Darth Vader now has the abilities of the fucking Predator. I know, right? One thing I really appreciated about this issue was that they managed to make Vader into a badass without him being invincible. You can only watch a character take so many hits that would destroy a lesser person before the action becomes less compelling, because at that point, if you're invincible, what are the stakes, really? Darth Vader loses his lightsaber, he gets set on fire, he gets struck by lightning. By the end of the story, he is face down on the ground, but still, he perseveres because he is strong in the Force and he is Darth fucking Vader. One of the main themes of this story is Darth Vader's concept of his own invincibility being challenged, and ultimately disproven by Tarkin, who is a badass in his own right. In fact, I think this is the most hands-on action we've seen Tarkin take part in since the Citadel arc of the Clone Wars. And I love that the story references the Tarkin novel by James Luceno, where it talks about Tarkin's upbringing in the harsh world of Eriadu, where he learns to survive in the wilderness and navigate hazardous terrains. Overall, this issue was absolutely fantastic. And another person that was hyped about it is the writer himself, Charles Soule, who said on Twitter, "Certain comics I've written over the years stick out as good work to my mind. The Swamp Thing Arcane issue, She-Hulk 10, Poe Dameron number 14, Daredevil 25, Letter 44-34, others, and now Darth Vader 18. Out tomorrow, can't wait to hear what you think." Well, I'll tell you what I think, Mr. Soule. I think you fucking nailed it. So from this reviewer, you get a big old thumbs up. Great work. The next issue of Darth Vader is going to begin a story that I have been anticipating. It's called Fortress Vader, and apparently it's going to be the story of him building his castle on Mustafar. Hell yeah. Next up, we have the 6th and final issue of Thrawn by Jody Houser and Luke Ross. Night Swan reveals his motivations for stealing the Dunium shipments. Turns out he suspects the Empire of building a super weapon. I think you may be onto something there. Thrawn reveals that he was in fact not exiled by the Chiss, and that the circumstances of his discovery by the Imperials was entirely deliberate. Governor Pryce is betrayed by Agent Gudry, her ISB agent escort, and she subsequently kills him using some of the hand-to-hand skills we see her use in her fights with Hera on Star Wars Rebels. And with a couple of well-placed lies, she manages to sneak her parents off-world. This issue gives us a fascinating glimpse into Thrawn's allegiances. He's pledged himself to carry out the Emperor's bidding, but he also still serves the Chiss ascendancy. If Thrawn feels like the Death Star is a threat to the Chiss, he may switch sides against the Empire. This is the first time we've heard this mentioned in the new canon. Up until this moment, he's been very resolute and ironclad in his allegiance to the Empire. This is the first time we've heard a glimmer of something else, some shades of gray. The space battle was great. It was a wonderful way to show Thrawn's tactical mastery, using the information he gained from his parlay with the Night Swan to anticipate his every move. And the battle made for some epic panels of artwork, with the Chimera looming in the foreground as the light cruisers release like a full wing of TIE fighters into the attack. Included in the Baton Insurgent fleet is a VCX-9 light freighter, just like the Twilight from the Clone Wars. That's the second time a ship of that model has appeared in this series. Nice to know Luke Ross is a fan of the Clone Wars. Governor Pryce killing the rescue team was pretty cold-blooded. I mean, I know she has to cover her tracks, but geez, that's a hell of a thank you for the people coming to try and rescue you. Colonel Yularen is pissed that the number of civilian deaths far exceeds the insurgent casualties. And every panel that he shows up in, I read in his voice. And thanks to that conversation, we now know exactly what the sector governors were referring to in the scene in Rebels where Thrawn is introduced. Thrawn confronts Pryce about her involvement down on the planet, and she manages to convince him that she's a necessary ally for navigating the political terrain of the Empire. Pryce recommends Thrawn get assigned to the 7th Fleet to deal with an insurgency issue on Lothal, a set of rather familiar-looking rebels. I thought it was really cool getting to see those faces again. I knew that's where the story was going to culminate, having read the book, but it was a nice little tribute to see them on the page like that. The story culminates with Thrawn being promoted to Grand Admiral, But even that uniform will not be enough to contain his massive balls, as he straight up asked the Emperor to his face, "So what's this I hear about a Death Star, huh?" The Emperor assures Thrawn that the Death Star is not going to be used against the Chiss, and Thrawn seems to be satisfied with the answer. And then we get to see the very first meeting between Thrawn and Vader. Yes, I know that Anakin and Thrawn have met before. The issue concludes with Eli Vanto making contact with a Chiss ship and offering his services on Thrawn's request. This has been one of my favorite comic adaptations of a Star Wars novel yet. Super great job to the people behind this comic. Luke Russ has done an amazing job with the artwork, really capturing the visual essence of the story, and Jody Houser's done a really faithful job of bringing Timothy Zahn's narrative to life. Really, if you haven't read this comic, first of all, you done spoiled yourself, but secondly, check it out. It's really amazing and worth looking at. That's it for the comics this week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the rest of the channel for more Star Wars content, reactions, and reviews. Leave me a comment if you got a question or something to say, and as always, may the Force be with you.